We are here for vocabulary session for the writing task 1, which is usually asked for the academic uh, part. Like writing task 1 is also for the general module, but in academic part there is report writing, and as far as the general module is concerned, they ask for letter writing. But today we are going to focus on the report writing, the vocabulary whichever is required for report writing. We will focus on that. Alongside, before starting that, we'll look at some tips which can help you to improve your score in writing task 1. Okay, let me tell you, first of all, there are around 4 parameters on which your writing task 1 and 2 both are checked. Okay, and as like writing task 2 also have the same parameters, there is some difference, but usually these 4 parameters are checked. The first one is your task achievement. Like when it comes to the task achievement, it means to say that you are giving the answer to all the parts of the question, whichever question is asked in the report writing. Like even if it is a bar graph or the line graph or whichever graph, a certain sort of graph is asked, then you have to answer that. Okay, if you are giving the answer to all the parts of that, that means you're going to get the score for that writing, like for task achievement. That is one of the parameters which is able to give you 25% of your score. And then the second is your like coherence and cohesion. As you may be or may not be aware of that, let me tell you what is coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion means interrelatedness of your stuff. Whatever stuff that you're going to write, you're going to present in your writing, that must be like related one. If your task given is not answered and you're not writing related to the task, that means like your statements are not logically connected to each other. That means if there is a certain pattern of writing, the report writing, then definitely if there is no synchronization, then definitely you will lose the score. So first thing first is like you should have the synchronization so that you can achieve your coherence and cohesion. And fundamental elements which are really helpful in making the coherence and cohesion in the report writing as well are what is that? Currently low. Okay, thank you. So what exactly is important about this coherence and cohesion is, like you can achieve that one very easily, because I have taught my number of the students from one of the school, that is Mount Carmel school, that also I have taught there. Also I have taught the students the element of what we say the connectors, like as a very important topic. Like I have taught them separately, I have given the classes separately to them for the use of the connectors, how to build the ideas and connect them together using moreover, furthermore and all that. These are the very normal words that we use, but actually they should be the part of our speaking normal day-to-day life, in normal day-to-day life. So if that is there, then definitely you will get the score. You're using those connectors to bind up your ideas together, and then there would be some sort of logical connection. If there is logical connection, they are finding, and 25% score would be given for that as well. And then after that one comes your grammar. Grammar also is important in that case. Third part, that third element is the grammar, like your construction of the different structures, like whatever category of the question is asked in the report writing depends upon that, like what kind of connector are you using or what kind of vocabulary word are you using, depends upon that. As far as my personal perspective about the grammar is concerned, the different structures varies in case of different categories of the report writing task. Like bar graph will have a different sort of structuring. Like most of the students try to write passive voice. They think so that if they will write the passive voice, they will definitely get a good score. It's not only that passive voice is important, the rest of the structures, if those are possible to be used, depending upon the given task, you have to use the tense. Wherever like the past tense is more depicted, that you are getting the information from the past, then definitely you have to use the past tense there, and more probably you have to use the past indefinite. Okay, and leaving that, except that, I think uh, the fourth corner, which is very important, is your vocabulary, that is lexical resource that we are going to work on today. That's very important. Then this like vocabulary must be related to the given task. It's not like you are writing some vocabulary which is exaggeration of some sort of word, or you're writing some big words or fancy words. That is not exactly which is expected in the report writing. In report writing, they simply want you to structure it down and write the given information as given in the picture. If it is easily represented there in your writing, then definitely you will achieve the score. Let me tell you, the division of the score is different. As I check the papers, like I check my students papers, like whomever like study here in my institute, then I try to check it accordingly. Like 66% score I used to give for 67% exactly, to be very exact, 67% for the like writing task 2 and 33 for that. But actually it's like 6 to 3, 6 to 3, like 3 bands for, like ultimately you will get for the writing task 1 and 6 bands for the writing task 2. So but they will check the 4 of these corners for both of them, and then they will distribute it accordingly. Mathematically they will give you the score accordingly. Okay, and then very important thing, that is like you should know about the writing task 1 is like you have to divide it into the different paragraphs. First thing first, that is your introduction. That is the first and the foremost thing that you are writing over there. Then how you need to write the introduction, that is the first step, let me tell you. So don't copy the question for your introduction. Like when you are writing introduction, do not copy the same thing that is written in the question. Try to write it in your own words, whatever is given over there. Try to just paraphrase that in your own language. And I try to write one more aspect into that when I write the introduction, the writing, report writing, that is the unit. Okay, I have seen that in one of the video as well, but it's important that you are representing the unit in which the things are measured. The picture usually that you get, the visual picture that you get there, some units are given, sometimes a percentage is given, sometimes a meter, sometimes there is some kilometer or some sort of measuring unit is mentioned. You need to write that measuring unit in your introduction. If you don't write that, then definitely you won't get that high score. Or I'm not saying that you won't get that high score, it's not about that. It's like common phrase that we use when we actually make a video, that you won't get that or something like that. But the thing is, you will lose some score for that, because you should write the units. It mentions that, like you know that that unit actually is more important thing in when the picture has been seen. You have seen that what kind of unit has been used. So if you are representing that unit, if you are writing that unit down, then definitely it will add to your score, definitely 100%. So when you write your writing task 1, the first thing that is very important is you divide it into the different paragraphs. First is introduction, second is the overall paragraph. Overall paragraph means you are writing the bigger picture in 2 statements. Okay, the bigger picture, when you see the picture for the first time, what do you notice, like which is quite striking one? The striking information, you must actually explode it down in the form of the writing, okay, on your paper, okay, and write down the same in 2 to 3 statements. Don't write too much, don't exaggerate that too much. Simply if you are actually writing it down in 2 to 3 statements, that is enough, that is quite fine. And moreover, what I would add to that is, like when you are writing, you should write in comparisons. Like do not write simply like one thing is this or one thing is that. I would say that if you are comparing it with the rest of the thing, that what is the highest point, what is the lowest point that is there, and what is the mediocre one, and group them up. Okay, grouping is very important. People do not group it. Okay, they simply like they try to compare the things, like they write too much which is not required, but they should group it together. Group the two things together, highest and the lowest, you can compare them. Okay, the middle part or the mediocre one, then you can compare them separately. Okay, that is how we actually do it. Okay, and don't forget to separate the paragraphs. If you don't forget, if you don't forget that, then you will get the good score. Okay, that means if you are writing that down in two paragraphs, suppose you are writing the report writing in two paragraphs, it is not going to give you good score. Definitely it's like the presentation and the organization is not fine, so that is why you will lose the score in that case. So it's important that you should actually divide that into the different paragraphs, and if the division is not done, then it is like I would say pitfall. Then don't forget to write a good summary or overview of the information. A quick one-step conclusion is not good enough. I prefer to put the I particularly prefer to put the overview state after the introduction. I love that thing because I've seen that in one of the video as well. I really love that stuff given in the videos of Liz, especially Liz. So I follow that lady as well as other people also. Like it's not like I follow them, but I really respect something which is right. So you should also look at their stuff, and actually that is time tested stuff. You should actually write that down, and you will see that there is some sort of progress you're gonna see on your part as well when you actually writing it down. Okay, accordingly the practice only you can judge it out that whether you are able to write the report writing. Let me tell you, the people who do not practice report writing, they do not get good score. Okay, there are lots of tips. We'll have the different session for that, but we have to start with that. Okay, we have to start with the first part. I must tell you that what I'm going to describe today is we are going to look at the words which are related to the graph, which are related to the maps, and which are related to the process and the flow chart. Okay, maybe the whole process is going to be lengthy enough, but I'm free now. Okay, so let's start with the first word, that is climb. Okay, when there is a picture given to you or a report writing is given to you, like there is some certain picture where you're gonna see the line goes up. Okay, that means when something goes up, when something rises, you can use like the word climb. Okay, how it would be used in the statement, like here it is given as an example: sales climbed after prices were lowered. Sales climbed. When you saw the picture, you wrote it down in your report writing that sales climbed after the prices were lowered. Okay, so in that case you can use in most of the cases use past indefinite, and the action verb must be used. Most of the time action verbs are required to be written in the report writing. People have a different sort of notion. They think that only passive voice is important. It's not like that. They are not going to make your statements to be so attractive or something. Like they are important. I don't say that they are not important. Whenever the action is important, we use the passive voice. I have only one logic, that when the action is important, we use the passive voice. When the doer or the agent is important, then we use the active voice. That's the only thing that you should keep in mind. Okay, and the coronavirus numbers are climbing in Asian countries. So there must be the map given for the Asian countries, and there must be some sort of rising in that stuff, and that means are climbing. In that case you can say that it like the number is climbing. So for the synonyms for the same is go up or increase, you can say that, and antonyms for the same are go down or decrease or decline. Decline is very nice, very nice. Okay, extremely great. Okay, decline you can use opposite to that. When something goes down rather than going up, you can use like decline. That's more important. Then obviously the next word, as I already mentioned, is decline. Decline means something that goes down. Okay, and the example for the same is like there was a sharp decline. Sharp decline. When you when you use noun plus adjective or adjective plus noun, that combination, that makes it more emphatic. Like your statement becomes more emphatic. Try to use that combination more of the time when you actually try to elaborate your statement. That makes it great. Okay, like there was a sharp decline, there was a sharp decline, okay, there was a slight decline, there was a great decline, there was a huge decline, something like that. Okay, when there is like to express the extent, we use the adjective with that. Okay, there was a sharp decline in the number of the tourists in 2016. Okay, coffee production declined by 5%. Here we have used the passive voice. Okay, declined by 5%. No, sorry, it's again the active form. Simply that extent is given here. Okay. Then the synonyms for the same are diminish. Okay. Instead of decline, you can use diminish. Diminish to a certain extent. Diminish actually we use when something goes off, okay, or it becomes over, or it completely gets destroyed, or diminish, or goes away from the place, or diminish. Okay, fall or lessen, Lessen, lessen. In that case, you can use as the synonym for that, like to grow smaller. It means to say that more of the paraphrasal formation of the construction is more important, I would say. And then the antonyms obviously would be the opposite to that one that we have already used, that to ascend or to go up or to increase you can use. So that's it. Then the next word is constant. The constant means something remains persistent, something remains the same, something doesn't change. When the value doesn't change, we say constant. Okay, constant is most of the time we have seen that in the physics book. Like I have seen, because I am the science student, so I have seen that in the most of the time, then there is a constant use in when we talk about the directly proportional things or something like that. Then that constant means something which is unvarying in nature. Unvarying means doesn't vary. Vary means variation. From vary we got variation. Variation means that gets changed. Unvarying means that doesn't get changed. So if something doesn't get changed, we say it is constant. If the value doesn't change, it remains steady in the picture, whatever you see in the report writing, then you can keep it same. You should not keep it as something to be changed. So it remains steady. So you can use that as a synonym. Instead of constant, you can use steady. Okay, if something remains the same, you can use steady. And if you can use unflinching also. Unflinching or unchanging. These are the nice words to be used as synonyms. So for example, as in a sentence, how can we use the constant word? The population in Australia was constant in 2018. Okay, 2018. Okay, car sales were constant from March to July in 2018. So there we have used that constant word. We can actually replace that. Okay, car sales were steady from March to July in 2018. Okay, car sales were unchanging, unflinching from March to July in 2018. So if you want to see the antonyms for the same, opposite words for the same, how would that be? Antonyms would be like if something is constant, something is consistent. If something is consistent, opposite to that would be inconsistent. Okay, the opposite word for that would be inconsistent. Something doesn't remain steady. It remains like up and down and up and down. Means to say fluctuating. If the information is fluctuating, if something is fluctuating in the picture, like it is not like steady, it is not steady for some time, it is always wavering. If it is always wavering or wearing down, then definitely you can use fluctuating as well. So opposite word for that is fluctuating or inconsistent. You can use that. Okay, and the adverb form of the word would be constantly or constancy. Okay, so these are the different words for that. Now the next word which we have taken from the previous one is consistent. Something which is constant is also known as consistent. Consistent means which remains steady and which remains unchanging. So consistent, how can we use consistent in the statement? The computer sales were consistent throughout the year. Okay, the computer sales were consistent throughout the year. Okay, consistent means they remain steady, they remain unchanging, unflinching, or unchanged, or in some form. So inconsistent and fluctuating would be the antonyms for the same. You can remember that. Okay, now very important word, that is dip. DIP, dip. Dip. We dip things when like we dip the biscuit into the tea sometimes, like Indian or especially in Punjab. I do that. I particularly do that. Like I dip the biscuit in the tea and then I eat. Like it's my childhood habit. Like I don't know like whether you are feeling it offended. Like if I do that, I don't care. So dip. What is dip? Dip means going down. Okay, so retail prices dipped by 50%. If something goes down by half of the percentage, then you can say that the retail prices or that something of that theme in the picture dipped by like 50%. Okay, so there was a dip in the prices of poultry. Dip means decrease in the prices, or like lessening in the prices, or lessening here is not LESSON, LESSEN. So lessening in the prices, or fall in the prices, or diminishing in the prices, you can say that. And then opposite to that, you should know that go up and increase. So we can't change that. Now downward. Okay, if you see a picture, if in report writing, when we see a picture, we see things going downwards. Okay, downward, you know that in which direction. So spatially or metaphorically, from the higher to the lower level, when something goes down, we say it goes downward. Okay, it goes downward. So rental prices plunged downward. We say rental prices plunged downward. It is predicted that the downward trend will continue. Downward trend, that means the things will go down for a longer duration of time. That means it will go down like for some more time. Okay, that means what is the opposite to that? Downward, that would be upward. Okay, now the next word is traumatic. Traumatic means all of a sudden when there is a sudden change, we say it's dramatic. It creates a drama. Okay, so highly striking, when something is highly striking, it's quite visible when you see the picture, when it is quite visible to you. So dramatically it is visible to you. So there was a dramatic increase in the number of the students enrolled. Whatever students were kept, there was a great increase in their number. So that is why we say that there was a dramatic increase in the number of the students enrolled. Okay, so oil prices dramatically plunged in May. That means increase in May. Okay, so as I said that dramatic is a word which actually clears something is striking. We can say that something is spectacular. Okay, something is spectacular is also dramatic. Okay, something is striking, also dramatic. Something impressive is also dramatic. Okay, so something which is dramatic is striking one, and it is quite appreciable as well. Something which is not visible and something which is quite faded, or it's not clear enough, then in that case we can say that it is unremarkable. So that is not a remarkable thing. Unremarkable is the opposite word for the same. Okay, antonym for that one is unremarkable, and the synonyms for that is spectacular, striking, and impressive. So dramatically is the adverb form for that. You can use that. Okay, and then comes the word fluctuate. We have heard that word. We have already, when we talked about the consistent word, there we said that like if there is something like wavering, that means it fluctuates. For that one, you can say that something is unstable. Obviously, if it is inconsistent, it is not constant. If it is not constant, it is not stable. If it is not stable, it is not steady. So this way you can remember the large number of words. Like when you practice them, you can keep the words in the mind. I don't say that like try to cram them, try to practice them in the form of the sentences. They can help you out a lot in writing task 1 and 2 both way, and it can dramatically improve your speaking skills as well. Okay, I've used that word right in front of you now. Okay, be unstable. I told you that fluctuate means be unstable. The price of the gold fluctuated wildly last month. The price of the gold fluctuated wildly last month. So fluctuated means it wavered. It kept on being unsteady for a lot of time. So what are the different synonyms for that? Like two synonyms I'll mention, that the change state and the turn, that turned into something else. Okay, that kept on changing. So antonym for that would be remain stable, obviously. So fluctuation, fluctuating are the different forms of the same word that you can use in your like writing. Now another beautiful word for you, like when it comes to report writing, when you represent your ideas in report writing in the form of the 4 paragraphs. Okay, first one introduction and then the overall, then the 2 paragraphs depicting the comparisons within the picture. In rest of the 2 paragraphs, you can use the word for slow. If the motion is slow, if the process is slow, for that one you can use the word gradual. 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 So what is gradual exactly is like proceeding in small stages. Proceeding in small stages, that means going very slowly, like slow and steady wins the race. We know that slow and steady wins the race. So gradually that tortoise reached to the destination, and obviously the other one lost. Okay, so there was a gradual increase in the prices of the vegetables from the first quarter up to the third quarter. Okay, so now gradual increase, what does it mean? Gradual increase means very slow increase in the prices. Okay, if there is slow increase, you can say that gradual increase. There was a gradual decline. You can say that if something goes down slowly, then you can say that gradual decrease, gradual decline, gradual diminishing. You can say that. Okay, the synonym for that one is slow, and antonym for that one is sudden or dramatic, and the sharp. Okay, so gradual means slowly, but dramatic is all of a sudden, very fast, very quick. If something is done quickly, you can use that. And the next one is how. How. Halve. How. Okay, and that means half means divide by 2. Obviously, half, you know that what is how. We say how. Halve. How. Okay, in the March-May quarter, H&M sales halved, and the share prices halved after 5 months. Halved, that means became half of the percentage after 5 months. And antonym for that one would be obviously doubled, and other form for the half would be halved and halving. Okay, that would be the one. And the next word is increase. 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 Increase, we know that it's rise of something, or it means that it increased to make it a greater thing, greater number, greater size. Okay. Sorry, to make greater, or as sorry, number, size, strength, or quality. Okay, then if we are adding something to the previous thing, then we also say that we are increasing it. Okay, that was a 51% increase from a decade earlier. So sales of automobile increased last year. Increase means it rose last year. Decline last year. Go up last year. So opposite for that one, you know that already we have discussed a lot. Decrease, lessen, fall, and all. So the next word is leap. Leap is actually leaping forward. Leaping forward means to take step as well. Leap, to increase suddenly. There was a big leap. Okay, big jump means to say. Big leap means big jump. Okay, so there was a big leap in the number of the confined patients. Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a bit. Yeah, there was a big leap. Leap means there was a big jump, big increase. Okay, increase suddenly. So there was a big leap in the number of the confined patients. Confined means like which are confined in a certain room or certain place. There we can say that it is like to increase suddenly. You can say that the crime rates leaped from 20% to 50%. So there we can say that the crime rate, the rate of the crimes like happening in a city or at a place, leaped means like jumped from or increased suddenly. That means the synonym I already have spoken for a lot of time. I have said that jump. Okay, and antonym for that one would be plunge. Actually, by mistake I've used it plunge wrongly earlier in my conversation. Really sorry for that. Okay, marginal means marginal, obviously very like small quantity. Okay, just barely adequate or within the lower limit. So when something is in the lower limit, small, when the quantity is very small, we say that marginal increase. There was a marginal increase, marginal, very small increase. There was a marginal increase in the income of the lovely loops from 2014 to 2015. Okay, so in 2010 there was a marginal decrease, a small decrease, you can say that, a minimal decrease or lower limit decrease or borderline decrease in something. Okay, there we can use that marginally. You can also use that one. The next word is modest. The next word is modest. We know that modest way, modest, limited or moderate in amount or in extent. When something is limited, there we can use that. Moderate or limited in amount or extent. There was a modest increase in the salaries of the nurses from 2013 to the 14. Okay. Let me tell you, I never thought to actually increase my vocab in that way earlier, but I have seen that like there is the advantage of having lots of words with you, because the most important thing is like the use of them. If you don't use them, even reading them is not important then. So I try to use them maximally with my students sometimes, and sometimes with myself as well. I try to practice it with myself. I try to listen to myself also. When I read a newspaper, I try to listen to my own voice as well. So that helps me to actually check it out, that whether I'm speaking right way or wrong way. So you can do the same as well. Okay, so in Spain there was a modest decline. Modest means moderate decline or a limited decline. Then there was a little bit shift of that. Okay, small or moderate, you can say small, minimum, or a marginal one, same word for that. Okay, modesty or modestly, you can use it. So the next word is plummet. Plummet is very nice word. If you use that one in your writing task 1, it may definitely increase your score. That is Plummet. Plummet. Plummet means dropping sharply. When something drops sharply, the price drops sharply, or something goes down sharply, then we use the word plummet. Okay, Plummet, plummet. Okay. Then sales of the party dresses plummeted in the US. That means the party dresses became trend at a certain time in US. Okay, plummeted means in like decrease, drop in the like the fashion. Sorry, opposite I said. So sales of the party dresses plummeted. That means decrease of that one. Maybe they started doing something else. So the currency plummeted further in the last 2 months. So currency dropped sharply. Okay, that means plummet is also the nice word for that. The synonym for that one would be plunge, 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 or slump, Slump, slump. Okay, the synonym for that, and the antonyms for the same would be rocket. Rocketed means it increased sharply. So that one you can use that. Okay, and the plunge word is already described, so I'm not going to describe about that. Okay, then the next word is rapid. Rapid means very swift, very fast. Okay, when there is certain thing that you have seen in the picture or in the visual given diagram, is like something is rapidly increased or something has been done in a short period of time, there you can use it, occurring within a short time. So that you can use that. The graph demonstrates a rapid rise in the tuberculosis TB, okay, tuberculosis cases. In 2015, there was a rapid increase in motorcycle accidents in California. So all such things are important. Like all these like vocabulary words, like the way they have written, like you see that how they have written. The graph demonstrates. So that means action verb is used in that case instead of using the rapid rise is demonstrated in the graph. It's not right. Uh, it's not right to write like that. Okay, the graph demonstrates a rapid rise in the tuberculosis cases. So try to use action verb more of the time in some of the cases, like talking about the processes and the process diagram. Sometimes we have to use the passive voice more of the time. So, but maximally we have to use action verbs. Okay, then what are the synonyms for the same? Rapid, like quick. If there is the word quick, you can use the rapid, and if there is rapid, you can use quick, and fast as well. Okay. There are lots of people who are very fast. There are lots of people who are coming and going back in my live session as well. So antonyms for that would be slow and gradual. Okay, you can use that. And then thereafter we have rocket. Rocket we have already discussed. Okay, when increased, when something gets increased. Sharp, we have seen that what is sharp. Sharp means very sharp, obviously very sharp, not blunt. Okay, very sudden or in great amount or degree, there we can use that. Sharp. Sharp, for sharp we have two synonyms, like rapid and steep. Steep, like all of a sudden a great rise. Okay, shoot up. Shoot up is also the nice synonym for that. Rise dramatically, or rocket, you can use that one. And an antonym for the same would be plummet and plunge. Plummet and plunge. Plummeted and plummeted. I think that is the word. And then comes a significant. Significant means important. When something is very important, we say that it is significant, relatively large amount of quantity, or significant is also used in that case. Like in that case, that means something very substantial. Like something very substantial is also significant. It's quite large. It's quite remarkable. Obviously, if something is large, elephant can be seen. So it's remarkable one. Okay, so small would be obviously slight or marginal. You can use that word as well as synonyms for that, as synonyms for the word significant. Now, slump, S-L-U-M-P, slump. Slump is a nice word which means that to drop or fall heavily. To drop or fall heavily. Let me just do that. To drop or fall heavily. That means too much fall of something or drop of something. You can use the bank's fiscal. Fiscal means financial. Bank's fiscal third quarter profit slumped. Slump means drop. Okay, heavily. Then obviously synonym for the same would be plunge or plummet, or the antonyms would be rocket or shoot up. Okay, so lots of words are there which are actually same, but synonyms are synonyms. Okay, exact way of using them would be different. Like soar, S-O-A-R, soar. Soar, we say soar. Soar, W sound is that, W sound. Soar. Okay, soar, S-O-A-R, soar. Rise rapidly. Obviously, when there is something that goes up, or surge, we can use nice word for that would be, for soar would be surge. Okay, soar up, soar upward, or zoom. Zoom, we say zoom. Airplane goes up, zoom. Okay, in that case we say surge. Okay, soar up or soar upward, and opposite would be plunge and plummeted. Okay, now spiral. We know that what is spiral. Okay, or we can say that spiral would be again to advance or increase steadily, like in a steady motion. When it goes slowly, it goes steadily, constantly rising up. If something goes up, you see, and it goes steadily up, slowly, it is not dramatically up, it is steadily going up, then you can use that spiral. Okay, the construction costs have been spiraling all year. All year. The number of the vocational graduates spiraled in 2017. Okay, rise and the soar up are the synonyms for the same, and plummet and plunge are the opposite for the same. Okay, and steady, obviously we have already discussed. Steady means stable or firm. Okay, you can use that one when something is stable or something is not changing. That there you can use firm as well. And fluctuating would be the opposite for the same. Okay, steep we have already discussed. Steep, obviously we need not to discuss again. Substantial, I told you the word substantial can be significant. Okay, yeah, here it is given significant or remarkable. An antonym for the same would be slight or marginal. Remember that. Okay, that means of ample and considerable amount. If like of great amount, when something is of great amount it is ample, and something is of great amount it is considerable amount, and if something is of great amount it is significant amount as well. Remember that in size as well, or in a number as well, we can say that. Okay, surge I told you already, like soaring up of something, or rocketing up of something, or shooting up of something would be surge. You can use the word surge for that. Okay, then comes upward. Upward, downward. We have used the word downward already, and opposite to that we have already discussed, that is downward. Okay, upward, downward, obviously we have seen that. So directed at or situated in the higher place or position. Prices of the goods soared upward in India. Okay, death rates moved upward in April. Okay, so opposite to that would be downward. Next is variation. We say variation. Vary. From word vary it become variation. Vary means something which changes. Variation means a change, an instance of change, an example of change. There was a variation in the fabric. Variation is a noun, let me tell you. As a word, variation is a noun. Vary can be used as a verb. So there was a variation in the fabric that were sold by CJ Garments. A significant variation in the taxes collected for 2018 was noted. Okay, and then synonym for that would be fluctuating. Variation, obviously. So vary is the verb form for that. Okay, this is the end of the words which are related to the graph. Okay, the words which were related to the graph, I've already ended it up. Okay, now the next words are about the maps. Okay, maps, obviously the maps of the different places. Two different maps are there. Like in the report writing especially, we have to actually compare the two maps, like firstly of some previous year, and now in the future what would be the changes. You're gonna see that significant changes again, like which are dramatic changes separately, and which are very minute, and the minute details later on you can describe them in the different paragraphs. Okay, but the description will remain the same. The 4 paragraph skeleton has to be followed in that case as well. Okay, now the next word is adjacent. So what is adjacent? In mathematics we have seen that, like we have read that word as well, we have seen that word as well, or we have, we have seen that in the form of the diagram as well. The nearest in space or the position, or immediately adjoining without intervening space, without cutting. Okay, the lands adjacent to the mountains were built with roads. Okay, the land adjacent to the mountains were built with roads. Okay, that means here is one example of how you are going to describe something in the form of the statement. The lands adjacent to the mountains were built. Now in the maps we are more supposed to use passive form. Here you see the lands adjacent to the mountains were built with the roads. Okay, the motel adjacent to the highway was constructed. So motel, hotel and all that. Okay, motel adjacent to the highway was constructed. So adjacent means very close, synonym for that one. And the near or nigh you can use also, but that is somehow ancient word, nigh. Next word is border. When it comes to map, we see the boundaries. So border would be that the part of the edge of a surface or the area that forms its outer boundary. So outer boundary, for that one you can use the border. How that can be used in the statement: the largest lake within the borders of the Canada is Great Bear Lake. There used to be a border separating the two provinces. Border, obviously we know that, when the provinces end, like there is a periphery, there is a certain sort of boundary, okay, border line or the boundary line or delimitation or meet, M-E-T-E, meet, okay. Other forms are border in the verb form or bordered in the adjective form. So border is used when we are talking about the boundary of certain place. A boundary is already discussed. So how can you use that in the form of example, like the region is located within the boundaries of uh, Russia? Or you, like, if it was in the past, how would you say the region was located within the boundaries of Russia? Now it is somewhere else. Okay, now something else has been constructed in place of that. So then there is another word, that is construct. Construct, how do we say construct? Construct, obviously we construct buildings, we construct rooms, we construct houses. Okay, a school has been constructed after 10 years. A school has been constructed. That means obviously, like, after the 10 years, the gap between the years mentioned in the picture, for example, is 10 years. You can say simply, instead of saying that 1994, you can say that after 10 years, like if it is like the kind of difference between the years would be 10 years, you can simply say that a school has been constructed after 10 years. Very beautiful line. So constructed is right word, or you don't say made, okay. Many people would write made, a school has been made, okay. Instead of made, constructed is a very beautiful word. So instead of that one, use constructed, okay. Thank you. Then is contour or contour. We say contour actually, C-O-N-T-O-U-R, contour. What is contour? A line drawn on a map connecting points of equal heights. When the heights are equal, and the line drawn on the map are connecting, okay, of points of equal heights, in that case we say that. The west central portion has considerably irregularities of contour, okay. Contour, okay. Con means same, okay. Con means like equal. Contour, okay, like a line drawn on a map connecting points of equal heights. When they have the equal heights and they are connecting together, then that particular line drawn would be called as contour. The general contour of the upland marked by the remarkably even skyline is evident. Evident means visible. Then comes the word elevation. Elevation also means the rise or increase, a raised or elevated geological formation. Obviously, in case of the maps, we can talk of something in the formation form, okay. Then elevation means something is risen up to a certain extent, okay. A forest can be seen just below the high elevations in the North Bay Mountains. So there have been more houses constructed in high elevation wilderness in Washington. You can use that in accordingly. And elevation means when something goes up and something is risen up, okay, not risen up, risen, okay. And then depression is the synonym for that. Elevation, depression, remember that, okay. Encompass means like to form a circle about. Encompass means forms a circle about. A moat was built to encompass the old fort. The moat, like around that boundary, like whatever boundary we make, that is known as. The building spans 2 city blocks and encompass more than 4 million square feet, okay. Encircle is the synonym for that, or surround is the synonym for that, okay. And then a few of the words which are still left, okay. We'll discuss those. fastly, and then thereafter we'll come to the closure of the session. Okay, within 10 minutes I think we'll have a break, and then thereafter I'll play the game. Okay, let's see. Then I'm not sure whether I'll play the game. Okay, don't be expectant why. Okay, then expand. Expand means expand. Okay, when we expand, obviously. Expand means expand. Okay, make bigger, wider in size or volume or the quantity. Okay, the architect expanded the house by adding another wing. The shopping mall was expanded by adding a parking lot. Okay, expansion. When something is expanded, we like expansion is a noun form. Expanded is the verb form. Okay, extend is a verb form. Let me tell you, extend, stretch out in length, or duration, or in the various, or in all direction, or whichever direction you're talking about. So when something is stretched out, then there we use that extend word. Okay, the backyard was extended to include a playground. Okay, the hospital was extended with a new wing for cancer patient. Okay, extended, that means it is stretched further. Okay, it is made bigger. Okay, broadened or widened are the synonym for the same. Broadened, broaden, broaden. Okay, widen, widen, widen. Okay, and then extension is the noun form for the word extend. Then comes intersection. Intersection means, we have heard of this word intersection, when like the two roads meet each other, you know, a place where two or more roads meet each other. Like in the square we say, for example, that is a certain sort of intersection like there, especially when at least one is major highway and the other is the low one. Like for example, you're going from the Chandigarh road to the main highway. Okay, from Balachor to the main highway, when you reach that, there is a certain intersection that you connect, and then you move to the highway. So that is known as intersection. So there used to be a post office along the intersection of Covent Avenue or the Blue Horizon Road. A park is located near the intersection of Madison and Harrison Street. Okay, what are the different synonyms for that same? Carrefour, we say Carrefour, 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 intersection. Crossing, you can say crossroads or the crossway. These are the words for the intersection. Okay, and then comes the word located. Located means like placed or situated at certain place. When something is placed or set or situated at a certain place, where there we say that it is located. The situated in a particular spot or the position, there we use that. The property is located along the York River. Okay, the country's main international airport is also located there, or located there, or what we say situated there, or placed there, or set there, you can say. So location or locate, one and the same thing. Okay, location actually is a noun word, and the located is the verb form. Modify, obviously the youngsters used to modify a lot of their like whatever bikes they have. Okay, modifications, changes, cause to change or make different. They try to make it different, they try to make it look different. So there we say that. The museum has been modified after 5 years. The school has been modified. Obviously there is a lot of modification in many of the schools. Okay, so the school has been modified to add new classrooms. Okay, then there are lots of changes, there are lots of allocations that are happening. Okay, and the modifications they're happening over there. So there we can say that there is a modification, there is a change, there is a certain sort of changes that are happening. Overlapping. Now the word is overlapping. What is overlapping? Overlapping means overlapping. That is overlapping. So what is overlapping? Covering with the design in which one element covers a part of the another. So that is overlapping. Overlapping canopies can be found in the grasslands. Okay, the trees are overlapping the building facade. Okay, the overlap. So overlapping should be clear to you how the things are. Like these all words are to be used in the map, okay, not in all the categories of the questions that we have discussed before, like the graphs, not the certain graphs, but only the maps. Okay, if you can see somewhere they can be used in your maps also or the graphs also, kindly use them. It's not compulsory, there is no barricade of using them accordingly. So relocate, what is relocate? Move or establish in a new location. If you have a building here and you're trying to change that place and you are making it somewhere else, that means you are relocating it, or you are going to change the place. Okay, move or establish in a new location. The monument has been relocated near the capital. Okay, the fire station has been relocated beside the police station. Okay, that means it is displaced from there, it has moved from there, it has been taken from one place to another place. Okay, interchanging of the places, or relocate means to that. Okay, and then there is replace, replace or relocate is one and the same thing, I guess. So replacement, replace actually to change, actually to provide a substitute or equivalent in the place of. The post office has been replaced by the barber shop. Obviously that's very important, like is a substituted, you can say that has been substituted by the barber shop. Okay, the post office has been substituted by the barber shop, or the post office, as far as the word is concerned, you can say that the post office has been replaced by the barber shop. Okay, the old building has been replaced by the tourist center. The old building has been an equivalent in the place of the tourist center, or like, sorry, the old building has been, the tourist center has been an equivalent in the place of the old building, you can say. In that way you can use the word replace as well. And then there are the 3 words left, 3 to 4 words. I'm not going to take that amount of time for that. Okay, the situated. What do you mean by situated? Situated, located, or place, or set are the synonym for the same. The cabin was nicely situated in a quiet river bank. Okay, the kind of vocab you should actually notice it down, that how it has to be used when it comes to your usage as well. Okay, the established in the desired position of the place, there we can say that. Okay, then situate is the verb form for that. Zone. Okay, zone, what is zone? Zone means area. Zone means like a certain periphery. Okay, an area or a region distinguished from adjacent part by the distinctive features of the characteristics. Okay, factories have been built in the economic zone. A new road has been constructed in the school zone. Okay, there are zonal competitions, zonal area wise competitions in schools, so you should know that word zone. Okay, then territory, what is territory? Territory means area, again, a boundary of a certain place, any tract of land or region or a district. The new territory has more buildings and less trees. The trees were removed from the territory. That means cutting down the trees is not a right thing. Okay, we should not cut the trees. Okay, and the synonym for that one would be area, and in territorial would be the adjective form for the same. And the last category of the word in the case of this vocabulary, report writing vocabulary, is the processes and the flow chart. We'll discuss that tomorrow, not today. Okay, and then we will move on to the another section. We'll talk about different categories of the essays and the kind of vocab that can be used for them. And let me tell you, I was free so that I could contribute my time for my students. I was actually not free, but I brought out some, I could get some time for all of you. So kindly come online. When it comes to sending a message is very easy, like getting a message is very easy, but it's for your benefit. So I request all of you, whomsoever get the link, so kindly come up and show up, and that's your choice. Maybe you will regret later on that um, the benefit was yours, you did not actually avail that. Another thing is, there are lots of people who will watch it live later on as well. Okay, and the people who will watch it in the video form, and you let me know in the comment section that how did you like the live session, and what do you want as an as something new, adding further to that. Okay, and as far as different videos are concerned, I'll keep on making the videos whenever I'll get the time. Obviously people are busy. I'll just suggest you something before I go. So kindly keep on reading books. Okay, maybe if I can actually change uh, the camera, I'll show you one book that I'm reading right at the moment. That is, yeah, TED Talks. Okay, I'm reading that one. So that's very nice book. I have actually um, you know mishandled the book a little bit, so that is why the outer covering is a little bit distorted, or I would say that I need to actually take care of that. Next time I'll definitely take care of that, but I would suggest you that read books like such which will enhance your skill. Do not read the books which are not of your interest. Something that interests you will give you something great. Something that doesn't interest you will give you nothing but just sheer wastage of your time. So do not waste your time in reading something which is not of your interest. Obviously, at the end of the day, when the people come to the institutes, when the people come to me as well, I try to ask them only one thing: do you do it with your interest? If you do it with your interest, or if you are trying to do it with your interest, you will achieve it. But if you're not doing it with your interest, and you're trying to just bury down your time into the grave of nothingness, then definitely it is not going to help you out in any way possible. So don't worry about who goes, who comes, who goes in, who goes out. Okay, think of one thing: that I have to achieve my knowledge. I will get it by hook or by crook. That is the only thing I can suggest you. Thank you very much. Good night. Take care. Bye bye.